Hey everyone, my name is Wes and
I'm
Ioana, and we are the creators of Interactive English, and you can find us at interactiveenglishvideos.com, as well as follow us on social media. So this channel, it's all about just helping you practice and improve your English, and today what we want to do is just have a natural conversation, a discussion, and as we do this, just help you learn a few vocabulary words, because we'll put those down there and hopefully that'll help you more easily understand and follow the conversation. So we got some questions from our patrons, our members, and one of them was asking us about how we came up with Interactive English and why we started this YouTube channel. And it's been about, how long?
Over 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, do you remember the first time that
you were talking about it?
I approached you with this idea?
Yes, I remember. It was on a...
Where were we?
We're in a BART, I believe. We're going to the BART to San Francisco.
Were we?
Yeah.
Okay, we have different memories. I thought we were at Cafe Roma.
No.
And I said, hey, I got this idea that I want to do a YouTube channel.
I mean, to be fair, Wes talks a lot about...
I just talk a lot of nonsense.
So it's hard to pinpoint.
quite often, so.
Maybe we were.
No, I thought we were at Cafe Roma, and I had been thinking, because I had just finished my, got a master's in TESOL, and we were getting ready to leave the country. We were moving from the US to Europe, and I thought that's when I told you about the idea and was like, hey, should I do this? Is it a good idea?
It was, yeah.
Because part of the reason, like, the one way we try to make this channel a little bit different is because I really try to focus more on active language learning.
I mean, that's why it's called interactive.
Exactly. To really try to get you guys a little more involved. So we have some videos that are just passive learning, where you're just listening and trying to understand what we're saying, maybe learn some new words. And then other lessons that are more active, where we do activities in which we want all of you to participate and do things.
I mean, I remember when you were first looking at YouTube and you saw a bunch of things and you're like, why is everyone on YouTube just speaking like it's a lecture? Like, this is learning English. And you're like, I wish there was a way or a channel or something that is like allows people to get engaged with what they're seeing, because we see that I mean, because
we would do that in the classroom.
Exactly, and we'd see sometimes...
It was all about trying to, instead of just standing up in front of the class talking about grammar or whatever, trying to get the students more involved,
because the
engaged.
Language cannot be taught, it has to be learned. So like...
That's very true.
Yeah, so like you have to be, and this is side what am I trying to say?
A side note?
Yes, side note, there you go.
Side note?
That you have to be engaged as a learner in order to be able to actually learn.
Yeah, so we thought about how we would create these videos, and that is also one reason why we do a lot of those live streams, is because we can interact directly with all of you, and we do a lesson and ask questions and try to get you guys to participate and answer those questions, and in that way that is a great example of active learning, where you are having to respond to something that we're teaching. So
you have to think in English, you have to write in English, you have to sometimes speak in English. We ask you to speak in some videos. So it's just like a lot of, at least partially, producing the language, as Wes loves to talk about. It's like his favorite.
The other thing is, I've always been, I guess I've always been a little interested in becoming an entrepreneur, and have always thought about, well,
you majored in business now in school?
Yeah, I did my undergrad in business management, and I always thought it'd be cool to start a business, and I just was never really sure on the direction, and I started teaching. I really love teaching, and then this was kind of a good way to combine both of those and really start our own thing and trying, and even now we're in the process of trying to turn this into a business.
How did you feel, can I ask you?
No questions, no. Yes.
Now that you've done it for so long, is this how you pictured it? That it would be that you've imagined kind of going, and is this you're still following like how you started out?
I feel like that this has been I feel like this has been a success, in that we started out really didn't have any huge expectations, but we kind of had an idea all along that we wanted to build a bit of a school around the channel, which again we're still in the process of doing in creating courses. But yeah, I think it's gone very well. I feel like we've we've moved slower than would be my preference.
I mean,
but
life gets in the way.
That's normal. I think anytime a lot of times people want to do something, they have this plan for whether it's a business or a project, and you're not able to go as fast as you would like to go.
Yeah, that's been around. Like we wanted to do that from the beginning, and we wanted to also do like a YouTube component to it, so it's like accessible to everyone.
So yeah, that was kind of how, at least that's how I imagined that it started. Like we were talking about it that day, and we were getting ready to.
We've talked about multiple days, to be fair. It's about
how to start this, how do we film these lessons. And if you watch some of our earlier lessons, I think they're very different than today's lessons. I think when we began, I was really anxious and a bit nervous those first few times trying to stand in front of the camera, record a lesson.
About what we did with the scripting? Because it's ridiculous.
We used to write these scripts like we were in a play, and just kind of try to read them like line for line, and it just made the process very slow
and long.
And I don't think it looked very authentic either. That it looked like we were just bad actors,
which we are.
Here are some examples. Listen to these words that have the schwa sound at the beginning. Yes,
it was
definitely.
Really bad.
Yeah. But I think that was part of
But it just shows not everyone's comfortable with the camera. Because my next question to you was going to be like, do we have anything to say to somebody who wants to start a channel or who wants to...
We've had some people ask us about whether or not they should do it. Anytime anybody asks me about, oh, should I start a YouTube channel? I always say yes. Not necessarily doing it because like, oh, you're gonna make a lot of money, because that's not really the case. And I think even for us, like, we do want to make this more of a standalone business, and we're having to try and develop things around it. But trying to live just off of your YouTube channel, I think, is extremely difficult.
Unrealistic.
You really need to have a very popular channel to be able to do that. So I always tell people,
it takes time. It takes a really long time to build.
But if you're passionate about some topic and you really want to tell other people about it, share your thoughts and ideas, I tell you, yes, go ahead, start a YouTube channel. Why not? I mean, for us, like, education has always been something that's very important. I think we're both very
important,
interested in education, and especially making it more accessible worldwide, which I think is another great thing about YouTube, because people have access to the internet and you could learn so many different things. I don't know how many times when I want to figure out how to do something, you just do a search.
Like you changed like my headlight on my car.
Yeah.
I remember by looking up YouTube.
I do a search, and then I typically go to videos too. I don't know why, because I'm a visual learner. I like to watch a video, and I would do a search for information and then go to the videos and then see what people are teaching. So I don't know. I don't know if that's how you guys, any of you have found our channel, if you were interested to learn more about English and discovered interactive English. But what do you think has been the most challenging thing about this? I know what I'd say.
For me, or for both of us? Or
just I don't know, just the experience in general.
Well, there are a few things. The first one, so we've always worked together, just like ever since I've known him, we've worked together. We met at work, so that was it. But it was a different, I mean, we both had like...
We're very compatible.
We had different tasks that we're doing, but I think starting something together where there's no defined anything, plus no defined roles, I mean, plus agreeing on... I think we always agreed on the outcomes, but like how to get there has been a little rocky.
That's true, yeah.
And you're in a relationship with someone and you're working and you're seeing them all the time, plus when you're young, relatively young.
What are you saying?
We live in a...
You don't like seeing me this much?
I'm just saying we're together 24/7 and
I
it's
understand.
a lot.
I get sick of myself sometimes, but...
So that's been hard, like living in like small quarters, not having an office space, like always being in the same place.
But to prove how compatible we are, I was going to say the same thing. that was the biggest challenge, is trying to the relationship and working together, working at home.
To be fair, we're still doing it, so I feel like maybe.
And we have to agree on things. But I think, like, you're right, where we want to end up, the destination was we could agree on that. But then how we got there, it's always
tough sometimes.
Like, not sure what kind of analogy I could give you. It's like I want to take a plane and you wants to ride a horse. And
why wouldn't you ride the horse? The horse is so much more scenic.
Give me that analogy. I just want to go fast, get there. Like, boom, let's get it done.
True. It's all about efficiency, and I'm like, let's do things.
I can be very anal
slow
when it comes to efficiency, and I do realize I don't think I'm a very easy person to work with.
I'm not either.
Depending on.
I get distracted very easily. Like right now, I was just looking at a bird that has like a little worm. It's like right there.
You got distracted. She got distracted like 10 minutes ago when we were talking about actual work in the school and some courses and stuff. And I thought she was listening, and it was like, oh wait, there's a sign back there. I want to take a picture. I was like, wait a second, like. So I think these are minor things that we go through, and I think anybody has those challenges at work if you're working with your colleagues as a team, or so. Yeah, that's what I would say too. What do you think is the biggest reward out of doing all of this?
Oh my God, so much. Before we start all of this, we're working, and I don't know if I want to call it corporate America, but kind of. And
we were in the grind.
We were running a school together after teaching at the same school, but not going to the office, being able to live kind of anywhere.
Having that flexibility,
not wearing like work clothes. I hated wearing work clothes, to be honest.
Working at home has some pros and cons.
You're
there's
kind
good
of
things
working.
and bad things, but you don't have much of a social outlet, which is tough.
And you kind of always work. There's no defined work hour. I mean, you can do that for yourself, but I think it really requires a very disciplined person to do that, and a lot of us are not that disciplined. So
I think I put in a solid work day, but I go to bed very late, and I tend to get up. I don't get up early in the morning, and I would like to, and I think I should, but it's hard to change that routine, because in a way you are your own boss, which is, I think, one of the things that people love about being an entrepreneur.
It can be difficult. I mean, I think that's something that people don't realize, because they watch YouTube videos and they're like, oh, people are having fun doing their hobbies, or it can
be very deceptive.
There's a lot of work that goes into it.
But I think it is true.
But if you love what you're doing,
it makes it easier.
So much easier. Which, I mean, we all have to work for a living.
I think that's true. Like, you hear expressions like YouTube burnout, and people, that camera comes on and everybody's all smiley, and then it goes off, and they're just having a really, really bad day.
The story is very different.
Nobody knows that.
Oh God, I remember like early filming days when I just have like, I'm a very anxious person, so I just have like anxiety attacks over like the camera in my face, and it can be tough if you're not very.
But I was a very calming
outgoing
influence.
No, that was.
I'm sure. So I would say, when we hear from all of you guys, like down in the comments, like, oh, this is very useful, it's really helped, I feel like I'm improving, like that really, it really means like a lot to us, because that's what this is all about. That's why we do this.
And people who you couldn't help any other way, and that's really, really cool. So.
Which goes back to making, when we talked about education becoming more accessible, being able to teach English to everybody, and we have like kind of a global classroom, which is wonderful. And
it's such a, I think maybe sometimes people trivialize like language learning, but it's so important, especially if you're in a different country. Right now, it's such a world language that it's so important to be able to speak it. You can get ahead in your job, you can get ahead in your school, you can get ahead in so many different ways if you speak English, and especially if you're really good at speaking English.
I think it does. I think it opens up a lot of doors. Work, And
life
travel, I
opportunities,
think when
yeah.
people travel to other countries, typically the common language is English. I think we're really happy that we did this and we started this channel, and we hope that you guys find these lessons useful, and even lessons like this, which is just it's a conversation to help you practice your listening skills and follow along, because another thing I always talk about besides producing the language is just
it's like his favorite
getting
expression.
exposure, different exposure, whether it's listening and reading. So for example, like in this video, getting that listening exposure, hopefully you learned or you heard a few new words or expressions, and now you know what they mean, and the more you practice, the more you're going to improve. So
It's all valuable. I just wanted to say, like, everything, even if you're just listening, yes, of course we want you to produce it, but even if you're just listening and keep listening, like, that's going to help you
yeah, absolutely.
eventually
Absolutely.
speak.
So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to our conversation and listening to our story about why and how we started our Interactive English YouTube channel. So
If you have any questions, write them down.
yeah,
We
just
might
write
do
to us in
another
the comments. Love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
one. Bye.
Bye.